Okay. Hi, this is Alan 08 again, and I'm going to do a recap of The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 8, Episode 3. And before I begin, I just want to say I did check out Dr. Wendy Osofo's new talk show, and it's showing a whole lot of promise. And I like what she has to say so far. And considering that I've been watching Real Housewives of Potomac, and Wendy seems like a really cool housewife, I figured, why not check out her talk show? So, and if there's anybody that wants to see what she's about and check out what she talks about, her shows are every Monday on her YouTube channel. Just type in Wendy Osifo. Her last name is spelled Osefo, and it should have her YouTube page listed. So, go ahead, check it out. All right. So to start with episode 3, we pick up where it left off in the last episode, where Wendy and Ashley are in the room talking, and Ashley relayed to Wendy her meeting with Nneka and they were talking about, Wendy, and where Nneka says that she met Wendy once at a concert, and where else did she say? And somewhere else, and it seemed to Nneka that Wendy seemed like a nice and cool person that she wanted to get to know. And Ashley relayed to Wendy about the article that regarding the rumors about Wendy and her family being Osus. And Wendy explains that Osu is something from the ancient Nigerian gods, and basically anybody that's an Osu is considered an outcast. Like nobody has anything to do with them. And Wendy tells Ashley that she is not an Osu, and neither is anybody in her family. And she also said, don't believe that article because it's just full of lies. And this is at the point where Ashley was worried that she may have implied that it was Nneka who brought up the allegations about Wendy being Osu, and Ashley's feeling guilty for that, even though Nneka technically never brought up said rumor. And now Ashley's hoping to clear everything up so that nothing blows up in her face or Wendy's face. But it's obvious by the end of this episode that it's going to be too little too late. So, Ashley, you should have never said anything. You should have just shut up about it. Because from what the producer showed us, Nneka was just trying to wonder what kind of doctor Wendy was, which was absolutely no shade at all. She just wanted to know what kind of doctor she was. That's it. And it was Ashley who brought up the article and the possibility of Wendy being Osu, and all Nneka said was tell her what an Osu was, and she wasn't sure if Wendy was one, but she just knows that Nneka herself is not one. That's it. But yeah, it's gonna turn out a whole lot different by the end of the episode. Well, basically already is turning out for the worse. Alright, once again, we join the ladies at the table outside, and Juan's infidelity has come up with Mia telling Robin that she's always here for her if she wants to talk about anything. And Robin just basically shut it down, saying, you know what, I'm not running from anything. So, I'm not running from anything. And what else? And just basically she doesn't care if the block is hot regarding Juan being around those other women. And if she doesn't care, then neither do I. I'm honestly sick and tired of feeling about, I don't care what they say about Juan. I don't care if they say that he's cheating, blah, 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 blah. Next. And Giselle brings up the fact that Karen owes Robin an apology for getting into her business regarding Juan and that woman. And then Karen insists that it's Robin who owes her an apology for implying that Karen was out with the guy with blue eyes, and it made it bigger than it should have been. Let's see. So that's when Karen and Robin decided to go elsewhere to have their little one-on-one talk. And it's just amazing now that the ladies left at that table are the Green-Eyed Bandits, who are Robin, Giselle, maybe Mia, if they like her enough, and along with Charisse and Nneka, who's new to the group. Ashley and Wendy rejoin the ladies, and Ashley brings up, like she heard Wendy was trying to come up with her own talk show, and Wendy tells them her plans about it. And the whole time that she was telling her plans about it, I couldn't help notice the looks from Giselle and Mia. It was like a mixture of, like, I really don't care, or like a mixture of like eye rolls or nasty looks, and just all out hateful. So it's like, you know what, ladies? Keep hating on Wendy all you want, because while you choose to not like her for whatever reason, Wendy's continuing to thrive. So nobody's thinking about you two, except your families and the friends that you have. And then when Wendy points out that she notices there are certain news that shies away, newscasters that shy away from the type of news that are controversial, and at first, when she brought up the news being controversial and news networks want to shy away from that, somebody commented, well, everything ain't for everybody, which is true. Even Wendy agrees. And then she mentions her demographic of being mostly educated viewers and who vibrate on a higher level, and those who don't vibrate in that very way may not get where she's coming from on her TV show anyway. And that was enough to trigger Mia for whatever reason. And you know what they say, hit dogs usually holler. So if the shoe fits, wear it, sweetie. And maybe Wendy was intending to throw some shade, but it struck a nerve with Mia nonetheless. And it was obvious that Mia rolling her eyes and her nasty looks definitely were not lost on Wendy. And Mia just said, it's already clear that Wendy doesn't F with her. And honestly, can you blame her? I mean, you did, number one, you threw a drink on her last year, unprovoked. Number two, you brought up Wendy's business regarding trying to get into business with Peter, and it had nothing to do with you, number two. Number three, for some reason you decided to use your purse to attack her. So what exactly were you expecting? I wouldn't want to get along with you or have anything to do with you either if you came at me and I haven't done a damn thing to you. So, duh. And then Wendy asked Mia, how would you feel if somebody threw a drink on you for no reason? Would you want something to do with that person? The obvious answer would be no. And there is said footage of what happened last year. And then Wendy goes on to explain that it wasn't just about Mia throwing that drink on her. It was also about the fact where after everybody said their piece during last year's reunion, sometime after that, Mia proceeds to go on her Instagram or her social media and to attack Wendy even more. So, again, what do you expect from that? Let's see, and this is when Wendy also tells Mia, you can't keep throwing rocks and then hide your hand. That's just not how it works. And she's right. So I don't know why Mia's acting all hurt or trying to start something. She doesn't like you. And you've given her plenty of reasons to not like you or not want anything to do with you. And then Mia counters, and she has a lot of nerve for what she's about to say, which is that Wendy cannot talk about women's empowerment and then beat somebody down well, assuming she means verbally, the first chance she gets. Oh, you mean like you attempted to beat her down, literally and figuratively, last year? Hmm? And, and from what you've done, Mia, Wendy would have been well within her right to strike back at you verbally and physically. Because let's face it, you were asking for it, big time. And this wasn't the first time that you went at somebody unprovoked. Like when Candace told you to leave her alone or told you not to touch her, you tapped her on her shoulder anyway. And that's violating her boundaries and wishes. So you need to cut it out with that. That's what Wendy means by you throwing rocks and then try to hide your hand. So, and then Mia asked Wendy why she can't lift her up. Why should Wendy have to lift you up? Like, you do a better job of keeping yourself down. Like, don't blame Wendy for that. And then Wendy responds to Mia, because you're slow. And then Mia obviously takes offense to that. Like, well, actually, Wendy, the whole thing Wendy said was, because you're slow. I can't uplift you. You're too low down. She's not wrong. Per Mia's actions, anyway. And then Mia asked that if Wendy vibrated so high, then why is she so quick to call her slow? And then Wendy said, because you're slow. It was like in a matter of, like, which part of that didn't you understand? That's why I said that to you. Like, yeah. Thanks for proving my point. And then in a confessional, Mia accuses Wendy of coming at people in a very messy way or nasty way. Oh, like you did? I mean, pot kettle anybody? And that while Wendy thinks that she's going high, she's really going low. Wendy, again, you've got a lot of nerve, because not only did you come hard at Wendy, you came at a nasty way to Candace and to Karen. So, yeah, projection much? And Wendy just said, you know what? I'm in a good place right now. I'm not even going to waste any more of my time and energy on you. And like she pointed at Nneka, like, you're coming? Like she loves the good energy from Nneka and from Ashley, and that was it. And that was that. But then again, not sure if she should be trusting Ashley per her track record. But hey, I don't know. I can't say anything more on that. And then everybody goes up to get a drink and then to retreat back inside. Robin and Nneka have their conversation. Robin explains that she's a tough person, and while there's moments where she felt piled on, she's not going to let what she considers useless gossip from a blog or anywhere else for that matter get to her. And again, she reiterates that she does not care. We get it, girl. Let's see. And Nneka tells Robin that she just bought a house and that she's about to move in in a week or some months or so. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot. Robin and Karen have their conversation, and from there, they air out their grievances, and Karen deals with Robin the same way she deals with Mia, in that, then from now on, I'm going to come to you only with facts and the truth instead of rumors and lies. And the only way I can move forward with you is if you come to me the same way that I'm coming at you. And Robin agrees. So with that said, Karen asked Robin whether her marriage is open or traditional. Robin insists that her marriage is traditional and there is no open marriage. And then Karen asks if it's a legal marriage. And Robin says, yes, it is a legal marriage. I'm not sure if that was meant to be some slight shade, but there it is. But after Robin answers that question, Karen considers it the end of the question and answer segment for Robin. And then Karen asks Robin if she can expect Robin to meet with her with this, come to her with the same manner as Karen is attempting to come to her. And this is when it starts to kind of fall apart, because Robin remarks that Karen is the one that started the whole drama with them, while Karen responds that it was Robin who started it all. And then there was a disagreement over who started with who, and that's where it ends on a slightly less civil note. Well, there's that. Nothing. Candace is about to head out on her 9-city tour. Nothing really going on with that. And then they cut to, and I don't really care to talk about like Robin and Juan's interaction outside. So on to Giselle and her daughter. Grace is going clothes shopping to help prepare her for college. Grace is looking for party time clothes, and Giselle asks if Grace should be going to any parties. And Grace is quick to remind her mother she went to parties when she was in college, which implies to me that Giselle told her something about her college days. Like, she went out and partied, she had her fun, but she was about her studies, I'm sure. So, Giselle, let your daughter have this part of her college experience. She's gonna be fine. Have trust that she'll be a good enough person. She'll be good enough to stay in college and do what she has to do. Everybody's got to have that college experience. And I get it, so let her party. And when Grace reminds Giselle that she had her time of partying, Giselle tries to justify, like, oh, well, it was a different time. As different as the time it was, you still partied. Let's see. And Giselle explains in her confessional that her love for Grace is more important than her sadness of Grace leaving for college. And Grace assures her that it's okay for her to cry. Like, it's normal for parents to have that sadness when their child goes off to college, because they're leaving home, technically. So. But Giselle doesn't seem like the type to want to show any emotions, so who am I to judge her for that? But it is normal for a parent to feel sadness about their child leaving the nest. And cut to Wendy at home with her family. And let me just say, seeing Wendy and her family is just really cute. It's just like very heartwarming for me, especially seeing her connection with Eddie. Now, I really like Eddie. Eddie seems like a very cool guy, and I think that Wendy is very lucky to be married to someone like him. Wendy, if you happen to come across this, you better hold on to that man, and you better make sure Eddie holds on to you. I mean that. I hate to hear about anything falling sour between you two, so hold on to each other. All right, the discussion about the first communion ceremony is being brought up. Wendy asks her boys if they're ready, and one of them admits that they're nervous about having everybody staring at them, or about being embarrassed in front of everybody. And I get that, because I'm a shy person. It's like, if it's attention on somebody else, that's one thing, but when you're the main focus, it's like, it just makes you feel like anxious, like everybody's looking at you. Like, do I look okay? Am I doing anything wrong? Does anybody notice something that I don't? So I get it. Let's see. Sorry. I lost it? No, did I lose it? Okay. And Wendy shows her boys a picture of her on the day of her first communion, and she just looks so adorable. She looks so cute. Wendy tells us that she's a Catholic girl through and through. Like, she went to a Catholic school, and she recalls a time that she got detention because she rolled up her skirt, and the nuns told her that her skirt was too high. And she's a daughter of a preacher. Her father is Protestant, and her mother is a Catholic, was a born Catholic. And the reason that her parents' marriage did not work out because her father was too into his religion as a Protestant, and he realized that it wouldn't work out being married to a Catholic. And I know of the bad blood and the bad history between Protestants and Catholics, so maybe it stems from that. Let's see. Wendy and Eddie help the children prepare for the ceremony, and it's just really heartwarming and funny the way they have their own church ceremony going on while they're practicing. Eddie then, after that, Eddie asked how Ashley's housewarming party went, and Nneka said that and Wendy says everything was cool, and she tells Eddie about meeting Ashley's new friend Nneka, who is also Nigerian and Igbo like she is, and that Ashley brought up Nneka mentioning the article regarding the rumors about Wendy and her family being Osu. And this is here again that Wendy mentions that she never met Nneka, at least not officially, like, because she said that she saw her in passing, and tells Eddie that Nneka asked what kind of doctor she was, and again, like, the producer showed it, and it wasn't meant, from what we saw of the footage, it wasn't meant to be in a shady type of way. She was just curious as to what kind of doctor she was. And Wendy doesn't understand why this person who's a new housewife is taking shots at her, and she doesn't even know her yet. And Eddie wonders if this is the type of person that Wendy wants to get to know anyway. And this is sad because it's like, basically this whole thing started with Ashley. Like, she's the one that got the ball rolling, and now it's just a matter of, like, Wendy and Nneka will now be on shaky ground because of how Ashley got the ball rolling. Karen arrives at Mia's house, and while she greets her children with a hug, she's still, like, giving her the acquaintance handshake. Gordon walks in to take the kids out to go on a scooter, and because of their money troubles, they couldn't use a nanny anymore, and that's where Gordon had to step in and do his daddy duties. Karen and Mia talk, and they talk about what happened at the housewarming party. Oh yeah, I forgot. While they were inside, Wendy tells the ladies about that she's hosting a first communion for her sons Carter and Cruz, and she asks Ashley if she invites Ashley, and who else does she invite? I forgot who she invited. Oh yeah, she invited Ashley and Karen to go to the first communion right in front of Giselle and Mia and Robin. I forgot to mention that part. And it was there where, Wendy says, like, why would I want to invite certain women or bring certain women around my kids? Why would I want my kids to be around the very people that have a problem with their mother? Fair enough. And then Robin, in her confessional, wonders if Wendy was doing this as a means of getting back at Robin for not inviting Wendy to her Lost Cause Family Fun Day event. And she said, like, if she thinks this is like a slight at me, then she's wrong, because she's really doing me a favor by not inviting me. Well, I hope it's a favor, because you did just bring up and wonder if she was slighting you, so you had to have felt some way about it, right, Robin? And then fast forward to Karen and Mia. Let's see. Karen couldn't help but notice the tension amongst the group. And then that's when she brought up, Wendy's invitation to her son's first communion is being brought up. And Mia bluntly asked Karen, like, what do you think about that? And calls her Miss Etiquette Queen, implying that maybe Karen's going to say something about how rude Wendy was to bring out the invitation in front of people that she didn't intend to invite. And Karen felt that the invitation was personal on Wendy's part and a slight at Robin. But I think it's just Wendy matching the very energy that Robin gave her last year. And that's more than fair. And Mia says that that's another reason why she refuses to move forward with Wendy. And she brought up something that had absolutely nothing to do with Wendy's invitation. Like when Wendy called her slow. Like, okay, that's got nothing to do with you not being invited. Like, is that the best you could come up with? And then Mia says that Wendy calling her slow was a sore spot for her because she has a son who has a speech delay and has to go to special education classes. All right, fine. That's fair. I mean, naturally that's something that affects you because of what's going on with your son, but that's no reason. That you're just using that as an excuse, and that's not fair. And even as Ashley mentioned later on, like, if that's what you're willing to die, that's at the hill that you're willing to die on as for why you don't want to move forward with Wendy's, like, that's just petty. And when even Ashley doesn't believe that's a good enough reason to not want to move, if that's not the reason why she doesn't want to move forward with her. Let's see. And then Karen tells Mia that Wendy has no way of knowing that about her son, and that Karen definitely does not want to be in a position where she has to pick a side. Kind of like season 5 when she felt, it's kind of like what reminds me of season 5 when she basically echoed the sentiment regarding Monique and Candace's drama. And then Mia says that Karen humps the fence, and Karen says, no, I don't hump any fence. I am the fence. Everybody humps me. And that like matches what her tagline for this season is. Candace and Mia are meeting for lunch. And then a little later, Wendy's friend, was it Kiana? Like per her spelling, it's really Kiana is meeting with them to have lunch. And this is when, once again, the housewarming party was brought up, because Candace wanted to know how that went. And Wendy tells them the conversation she had with Ashley about Nneka in the article regarding the rumors about Wendy's family. And then Candace wonders if Wendy and Nneka officially knew each other. Wendy insists that she did not, and again that she met Nneka in passing. And the first time that she officially met her was at the housewarming party. And if Nneka wants to, wait, no, that's different, I'm sorry. And it's different if Nneka claims to know her. And regarding the article, Candace wonders if Ashley told Wendy this herself. Wendy says that the article came up when Ashley met with Nneka. And of course, Candace, per her bad history with Ashley, considers that a red flag. And she says that Ashley has a habit of stirring up trouble by bringing up information to use as like a slight or just to be messy. Wendy also extends an invite to Kiana to her son's first communion ceremony. Let's see. And mentions that since Candace will also be there because Wendy also invited her during the dinner with her, Candace, and Karen. She invited her then. And she brings up that this event will be the first time that Candace and Ashley have been in the same room and have seen each other. And Wendy says that she wants the both of them to be friends since they all have a good time together, and that doesn't sound like a good enough reason for them to want to get along. It's just like saying like because they've known each other or been a housewife or on the same show that they should be friends. But if you know that they have bad history, a friendship wouldn't work out anyway. So, yeah, good times or not, I see why Candace doesn't really want to move forward like that with Ashley. And even Candace says, while she acknowledges the good times that they've had, she knows for a fact that that Ashley will turn around and stab someone in the side of the ear. Okay, next scene involves Ashley and Karen at a clothing store, and they're looking for appropriate clothes to wear for the first communion. Ashley has a hard time finding a dress that will cover her breasts and not make her look, I'm trying to think of the right word. Not skankish, but sleazy. That's good enough. And Karen asks Ashley how she will feel about seeing Candace at Wendy's event. Ashley says that Candace has made it crystal clear that she wants nothing to do with her, and Ashley is cool with that. Karen admits that it was odd that Candace's name was never brought up at the housewarming party. I don't know why. I mean, nobody has anything good to say. Well, aside from Wendy, no one has anything good to say about Candace. And why would they? And then after that, Karen changes the subject to Michael's lawsuit against Candace. Ashley says that Karen wouldn't know more than she does, considering she spoke to Candace about it. But Karen admits that even Candace didn't tell her anything about it, and Candace couldn't answer any questions about it or didn't want to answer any questions about it. And then Ashley says that Michael won't even talk to her about that either. Karen thinks that Michael is using this lawsuit to make a point as a way of telling Candace to shut up about him. But Karen doesn't think that. Karen was wondering if it was really worth $2 million to make said point. Karen tells Ashley about her time visiting Mia and about her children, the tension between Mia and Wendy, and how the slow comment struck a nerve with her. When Ashley heard that Mia felt a way about being called slow because her son had been in special education classes, even Ashley doesn't believe that's what truly hurt Mia, and had a laugh because it just sounded ridiculous to her. Ashley admits that she's very excited to see Wendy at the ceremony and brings up her conversation with Nneka. And then it's here that Ashley admits that she may have implied to Wendy that Nneka was implying that Wendy is Osu. And this is where Karen asks for clarity of exactly what Nneka said. And Ashley says that Nneka never said anything. But it was Ashley. She said that Nneka never said anything. And there's footage of Nneka explaining that while Osu is a thing, she doesn't know if Wendy is that, but just knows that Nneka herself is not that. And Karen asked Ashley if she was being messy and just making it up. And Ashley swears that she doesn't remember any of it because she was drunk on a beer. And by the look on Karen's face, it doesn't look like she's buying what Ashley's telling her. And then she says that after the Jose Cuervo left her system, she tried to piece together the situation to her memory, and that she claims that maybe she put a little too much sauce on what she was telling Wendy or embellishing, and said Nneka was the one who brought up that Wendy is Osu, and that Ashley feels guilty about it and wants to set the record straight. Well, looks like you got a big old mess to clean up, don't you, girl? And Ashley holds the side of her head as if to say, Ashley, girl, you in trouble. Kind of like Whoopi Goldberg's character in Ghost, like, Molly, you in danger, girl. It's the day of the First Communion. Carter and Cruz receive their Eucharist, and then the brunch happens afterwards. The boys ask their parents how they did, and the parents tell them that they did really well and that Wendy was very proud of them. And we also see Wendy's mother and her older sister, Ivy. Wendy's mother happens to ask if if Mia is coming. And then I thought, Wendy mentioned that when anybody comes for Susan, Wendy's mother's babies, Mama Susan will go on full Mama Bear mode. And this is like a tribute to when Mia was attacking Wendy, and Wendy's mother sounded off on Instagram warning Wendy to not mess with her baby or that she will come after her. And then she says, she's only asking just in case she needs to prepare with more drinks and that she can get her raincoat from her car. And then Karen asked, did Wendy's mama just clear the table? And Wendy said, yep, mama just cleared the table. And then when Ashley comes in, there's awkward silence between Candace and Ashley. Of course there is. And I just love the interaction between Eddie and her sons. Very cool. Wendy, again, hold on to him. Wendy gives her appreciation to the ladies for coming. Well, those that were invited. And I have to say, this ceremony that Wendy invited some of the ladies and excluded some of the ladies to was very much a smash compared to that sorry-ass family fun that Ramen had last year. So. And then Wendy addresses the elephant in the room. 2 of them to be exact. Candace and Ashley. And the discord between them. Candace lets it be... Karen. Why do I keep saying Karen? Candace lets it be known that she will always be okay with being in the same room as Ashley. And Ashley says the same about Candace. We'll see. And then Karen asks if anyone has ever played pickleball before and extends her invitation to all of the ladies, including their significant others, to join her and Ray for a game of pickleball. And Ashley brings up to Wendy the conversation she had with Nneka and sets it straight that it was Ashley who brought up the article about Wendy, and that Nneka never implied anything. And Candace has that look that says, oh, brother, here we go. And in her confessional, she said, I told you so. I told you. And Ashley apologizes for misrepresenting the conversation. And then contrast with Nneka and Robin meeting for dinner. And Robin says she looks forward to getting to know Nneka. And Robin asks Nneka if Ashley was the only person that Nneka knows. And while Nneka claims she only knows Ashley, she admits that she has met Wendy, and that leads her to talking about how, where, and when she met Wendy, and why things are a little not so friendly. That while Nneka does not know Wendy, she knows of her. And this is when it gets really confusing. It's okay, which account of who knows who is more accurate here? Because it sounds like Nneka's kind of embellishing. I don't know. Wendy says that she knows Nneka in passing. Nneka says that she knows Wendy first at a concert and then at another event. So I don't know. I just don't know. And Nneka says that, and because Robin thought that Nneka and Wendy officially met at the housewarming party. And Nneka says, if Wendy wants to say that this is the first official time that they're meeting, then she can go ahead and say that. And Wendy was like being introduced to Nneka for the first time. And she reiterates that she met Wendy at a concert and then saw her the other event was at a birthday party. And she was met with eyebrows and glares. Okay. And what gets even more weird is that she was expecting aggression from Wendy because Wendy's family has been aggressive towards her for the past 3 weeks. And apparently, Wendy's sister Ivy, who we saw at the ceremony, has been contacting Nneka's husband's cousin because they've been good friends for 13 years. Ivy called Nneka's husband's cousin because Wendy was upset that Nneka was using her name, Wendy's name, as a means to socialize with the ladies. Called Nneka all sorts of names, including a clout chaser, and needing a restraining order. So it's Nneka's in-law that knows Wendy, and then it was Wendy's mother who calls the husband's cousin and asks if she had prayed with the cousin before. And then the mother asks if she has prayed against the husband's cousin, and then said it was a sin to use somebody's name. And then Nneka tells Rama that Wendy's mother has a shrine for said names to use, where she allegedly puts a hex on them. And Nneka feels like Wendy's mother has put a hex on her for talking about Wendy or using Wendy's name. It's just so much confusion all around. Yeah. So, and then Robin says that, well, maybe Wendy's mother put a hex on her, and that would explain all the problems that she's having concerning Juan and these other women. Okay. Very much a stretch. Yeah, I'm not even going to say more on that. So, that was episode 3 of The Real Housewives of Potomac, season 8. So, and my take is this whole thing between Nneka and Wendy is getting weird. I'm sick and tired of hearing about how much Robin does not care. Yeah, that's it. I just have to wonder how much worse it'll get between Wendy and Nneka because, considering that they're both Nigerian, you would think that they're supposed to be getting along a lot better, but thanks to how Ashley implied things, it's going the other way. So, talk to you soon.